날이 좋은 어느 날 새 신을 신고 그대를 만나러 가겠어요. We can spend the summer, the winter, and everything between. Baby, I miss you, even when you're next to me. We'll go to the park, laugh away the blues. People will stare, asking have they lost their minds. And when it gets dark, we'll play our favorite tune, heart and soul, dance under the moon. When my dreams get so hazy and skies become gray, you'll be the one to guide me home. For miles and miles, been sailing through the sea to find you here, standing next to me. So, my love, be my everything, heart of gold, stay here for a while. When your life gets so crazy, you lose your way, I'll be the one to guide you home. the sun. of December. Oh, how could I forget? Baby, I miss you, even when you're next to me. 언젠가 나의 옷에 당신의 향기가 나는 날이 오게 되겠죠. 햇살 좋은 어느 날 나를 반겨줄 그대의 미소는 참 예뻐요. Only your side, even when you fall asleep, I will love you until the end of time. Even when we turn old and gray, I won't let you go till the end of time. We could spend the summer